This afternoon, we are honored to welcome a very special guest, a speaker whose story and insights have inspired leaders and organizations across Asia. He is the proud winner of the Apprentice Asia, a multi-awarded marketer and HR leader with over 15 years of experience, and one of the region's most sought-after voices on leadership, talent, and organizational growth. Known as Asia's Millennial Guru, he has trained and advised more than 1,000 companies worldwide, authored 4 best-selling books, and now leads his own firm, JY Consultancy and Ventures, helping businesses thrive in an ever-changing world. As we celebrate Araw ng Pasasalamat, he joins us to share powerful lessons on the growth mindset and the strength of grit, values that fuel innovation, perseverance, and progress in our communities, our organizations, and in ourselves. Let's give a warm welcome to our distinguished guest and keynote speaker, Mr. Jonathan Yabut.
Mic test. Working. Good afternoon po. I'm gonna stay here because I want to be with the audience. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. May I also request if the lights can be turned on para hindi tayo mukhang sine, if that's okay. Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat. I hope you're all having a great day. Nakailang cups of coffee na po tayo? Pampagising lang? Isa pa lang? Nako, okay. Ako nakakaapat na. Okay, I think we need to do a quick energy session before we start because if I'm looking at my clock, it's 2:30 p.m. This is the best time for siesta. Tama po ba? Tama ba? So I need to energize everyone in the room. So may I please quickly request everyone to close their eyes? Can I just ask, ito na po ba yung pinakamaliwanag? Ito na ba? Or we can ano pa? That's it na? Okay. Sige. So ito na pala yung lights. That's okay. We're gonna make it intimate then. So can I request participants to please close your eyes? Let's do something. Pakipikit po. Huwag po kayo mag-alala. Hindi ko po kayo sasaktan. Close your eyes. And as you're closing your eyes, pretend that you are blind. Pretend that you're blind. And you're so thirsty because napakainit today and you want to ask your seatmate for a glass of water. Could you please gesture to your seatmate now to ask for a glass of water? Do that please. Testing ko lang po kung paano kayo mag-react. Sige po, go lang. Sige lang, close your eyes. Ask for a glass of water from your seatmate. Okay, very good. Could you please open your eyes now? Open your eyes. Ayan, salamat po. Now, this is interesting because I was looking at some of the participants in the room. May dalawang klaseng tao po. Type 1, some people did this. They closed their eyes and they said something like, wala silang sinabi. Which is so interesting because my instruction was rather clear. Sabi ko, kayo po ay bulag. Hindi po kayo pipe. Do we appreciate that? Don't worry, if you got the wrong answer, wag po kayo mag-alala, Jesus loves you. But this is what we call in psychology as unconscious bias. Unconscious bias meaning, if one part of your body is incapacitated, you start thinking that the rest of your body is also limited. And that's going to be our discussion for today because as we celebrate Business Week, we celebrate partnerships between the public and the private sector. That in order for us to succeed and adapt to changes, we need to harness the power of both. Agree? So before I continue po, and please show my slides. This is going to be our presentation for today. This is what winners are made of, and thank you, gumana na ang ating lights. This is the power of building growth mindset. Before I start, quick introduction lang po, although this was already mentioned a while ago. My humble beginnings started a few years ago when I joined a reality TV show that was created by the same guy who invented Survivor, and that is Mr. Mark Burnett. So if you look at the slide, for example, pakishow naman po ang aking slide. Hindi po gumagalaw to the next one. Folks, organizers, pakicheck lang po. Hindi po gumagalaw ang aking slides. Anyone is familiar with Survivor, by the way? Yes? Which interestingly, ayan, thank you po. Which interestingly still exists Today, there are 48 seasons of Survivor, and Mr. Mark Burnett, who is the founder, is shown on the screen. Sabi niya one day, this is so successful, let me create a business version of it. And so he created another TV show, and today, that is what we call, ladies and gentlemen, as The Apprentice. My clicker's not working. Could you please help me? And so, as we show it on the screen, this is The Apprentice. Exactly the same format of Survivor. The only difference is you have to do business, marketing, and sales tasks. So today, there are more than 14 countries that have their own versions of The Apprentice. There's The Apprentice US, Apprentice UK, and finally, they created their own version of The Apprentice Asia. In every episode, they subject contestants to a group of tasks. If you're one of the best contestants, you proceed to the next round. If you're one of the weakest contestants, unfortunately, you can be nominated to be taken out and eliminated from the bottom three. And so one day sabi ko, nako, I'm such a big fan of the show. Kung magkakaroon ng Apprentice Asia or Apprentice Philippines, I would love to join the competition. And so that opportunity came. A few years back, Mr. Tony Fernandez, who is the founder and owner of the world's largest low-cost airline, AirAsia, was summoned as the host of the show. From there, 30,000 applicants all over the continent auditioned. Malaysia, Philippines, Singapore, India, Indonesia, Taiwan, Vietnam. And from the 30,000 applicants, they got the 12 most good-looking contestants that you're seeing on screen today who was selected to be part of the show. Obviously, in every episode, one contestant gets eliminated. The winner is the lone man standing. To cut the long story short, hindi magpapatalo, of course, ang Pinoy. The last two people left were Singapore and Philippines. And yours truly represented the Philippines and, of course, was able to snatch the crown and emerge as the winner of the show. Salamat po. If you are interested, the episodes are available on YouTube, on Netflix. I came from season 1. It's now on season 3. So if you want to watch all the other episodes, you can catch them online. I will warn you, however, that our batch, season 1, is way more good-looking than batch 2 and batch 3. So wag po kayo magulat. After winning the show, I set up my own consultancy firm. That's the JY Consultancy and Ventures Group. We specialize in organizational behavior, whether it's about public speaking, motivation, leadership. We conduct workshops, we do research, and we conduct trainings and sessions for companies all around the world. We've done our session as far as in Buenos Aires in Argentina, as far as in New York in United States. And we take pride for being Asia's world widest speaker to date. So, magsimula na po tayo. And I would like to ask now a question to our participants. Warm up. It's a brand new year in 3 months. Can you believe that? Parang kakapasko lang, no? Parang kaka-New Year lang. It's gonna be 2026 in a few months. New challenges and opportunities are ahead of us. Tell me, choose a letter. How do you feel? Letter A, excited po that next year is going to be better. Letter B, John, di pa ako sure, may konting pang-agam-agam. Letter C, challenge but taking it one day at a time. Or letter D, optimistic that I will get through. Kakayanin ang year. Give me a letter, please. Give me a letter. Huwag naintindihan, kailangan niyo po ba mag-Espanyol dito? Give me a letter. A, thank you. How about the others? C, okay. Wala pong tama or maling sagot, ha? The reason why I'm asking this question is because I want you to appreciate life is all about changes. And our goal is not to resist change, but to adapt and manage those changes. Speaking of changes, may I ask po our participants, which one are you? Naniniwala po ako na may dalawang klaseng tao. Some people are like a thermometer and some people are like a thermostat. What's the difference between the two? Anyone? Ano po pagkakaiba? Thermometer versus thermostat. I'm sure nung COVID-19, sukang-suka na po tayo sa thermometer. Yes? So ano ang thermostat? Give me appliances sa bahay na may thermostat. Aircon. Okay. Kapag yamanin po, wag daw aircon ang tawag. Dapat AC. O, di ba? Ano pa? Ano pang ibang appliances? O, wag daw ref. Kapag yamanin, dapat fridge. O, di ba? Now, kidding aside, here's my point. Notice this. A thermometer, every time the temperature changes, only reacts. From 22, uminit, naging 28, it will only tell you what happened. On the other hand, a thermostat is not just going to react. Ano pong gagawin ng thermostat? A thermostat adjusts. It takes control of the situation. So ang gagawin niya, kapag biglang uminit, it's going to consume more energy. It's gonna hustle harder so I can go back to the equilibrium. May dalawang klaseng tao po sa mundo. Some people are like a thermometer. If changes happen and they don't like the change, they complain about the environment. But some people are like a thermostat. Yes, I don't like what's happening, but I will not just complain. I will do something about it. I will adapt. I will be resourceful. I will be creative. I am going to ask for help. May I ask our participants in this room, every time you face challenges in life, are you a thermometer or thermostat? Which one? Thermostat. May I remind everyone in the room, our responsibility in life is to become a thermostat at the end of the day. I'm saying this because my job is to talk about, John, how do I become a thermostat? If I'm working in the public sector, how do I adapt? And if I happen to come from the corporate sector, how do I also adapt? So a few things. I'll talk about 3 things in my quick talk. First, ladies and gentlemen, winners. And by the way, can I just ask, is it okay to call you as winners in this session? Yes? It's amazing to be called as winners. Winners embrace change as their ally, not as their enemy. And when great leaders cannot move their ship, they adjust their sail. To give you an example, let's look at this story. Can someone tell me what happened to Nokia a few years back? Do you remember Nokia? Yes? Do you also remember Kodak? Can someone tell me what happened to these 2 companies in 2012? They filed for a specific document. What did they file? That's right. They filed for bankruptcy. Do you remember your Nokia phones? Sige nga po, ano po yung mga telepono nyo before? Give 3210. Ako ang telepono ko, 3310. Takes 5 days to run out of battery. And the best part, kailangan mo lagyan ng cover para pag mahulog sa lupa, yung lupa protected. Right? Nokia was the #1 phone at that time. And did you know that Nokia was supposed to be the first operator of the Android system? But they refused. Sabi nila, hindi ko kailangan ng Android. I'm already doing so well. And so I don't need to evolve. Here's the problem. Sometime in 2007, there was this one website that allowed you to share testimonials with friends. Can someone tell me what that website is? Sorry po sa mga Gen Z, hindi nyo po ito naabutan. But that is the Friendster. Do you remember Friendster? Friendster was the first ever website to allow you to share photos, videos, testimonials. But we could not use Friendster on our phones. And that became the start of downfall of Nokia. What happened afterwards? Pumasok si smartphone. Sony Ericsson was still good at this time. Pumasok si Samsung, and eventually, the iPhone changed the name of the game. In a span of 5 years, just because technology changed, Nokia filed for bankruptcy. The same thing also happened for Kodak. Can I ask who killed Kodak? Bakit po namatay si Kodak? It still exists today, but it's no longer as big as it was before. That's right. So, ang kalaban po ng Kodak ay hindi Fujifilm. Ang kalaban po niya ay internet. Because when Friendster came in, and then Facebook, MySpace, remember Multiply? Remember Multiply? People started uploading photos online. Hindi ko na kailangan mag-print at mag-develop ng litrato kasi pwede naman i-upload online. What is my lesson here, ladies and gentlemen? May I remind you po, no matter how high and mighty you are, even if you're #1, you're only as good as your last invoice. You're only as good as your last presentation. You're only as good as your last song. While you're sleeping, everything else will change. And if you do not adapt to the change, mapag-iiwananan ka. This applies whether you're in the corporate or in the public sector as well. And my issue here is simple. When it comes to managing, for example, folks, can I ask the clicker to be moved? Paki-move lang po yung slides ko. local governments will continue to face new challenges and issues. And we all know what those challenges are. Today's times, for example, the number one issue is trabaho. Anyone who uses ChatGPT, may I get a raise of hands? You know this, in the next 5 years, a lot of jobs can be replaced and automated by artificial intelligence. And so the question now is, how many people are going to be displaced and how many people can be upskilled towards those jobs? Another example is disaster risk. Can you guys make a guess? How many earthquakes do you think happen every day in the Philippines? Felt and unfelt. Make a guess. You can guess ChatGPT on this also. Make a guess. Give me a number. Hindi naman ganun kadami, pero hindi ganun kakonti. It's around 20. 20 to 25 earthquakes a day. Most of them are unfelt because the intensity is not bad enough. But that also says something about how we are prone to risk. The Economist magazine states the Philippines ranks number 1 in the highest risk when it comes to disaster. Earthquake, typhoon, flooding, and all these things. The goal is, gaano tayo kabilis mag-respond? Gaano tayo kagaling at katalino mga situations? Or number 3, here's my issue. In the Philippines, most local government are reliant on national funding. But we cannot be reliant all the time to only one source, most especially when the funding is not decided by these people. So it is up to the local government as well to find ways to become creative, innovative, resourceful. I'm gonna call out all our councilors and barangay captains. We need to find ways to generate also our own income. This is not just in Malabon. This is the trend around the world. And so our goal is to be also self-sustainable, right? Speaking of local government, I'll give you an example po. Here's my question. If that is the case, and I'm calling out especially our public officials, ask your governance, how perceptive are you whenever changes need to happen? One case study. Give me a raise of hand. Who here has renewed their passport? Anyone who has renewed their passport? Who has renewed? Naintindihan niyo po ba ako? Or hindi pa kinaka-renew ng passport? Hindi pa. Okay. Sige po. Although madali na ngayon kasi you don't need to renew much because hindi na nagsastamp ang mga bansa eh. Right? Here's my issue. These 4 are the 4 items you need to do to renew a passport. 4 steps. Birth certificate, old passport, application form, appearance. Question, and I'm gonna use this adjective. Which of the 4 do you think is a stupid requirement? Make a guess. Which one? Which one is a stupid requirement that should not be there? Number 1. And number 1 is what? Birth certificate. Why is it stupid? Why is it unnecessary? Kasi may passport na ako. At kaya ako nagkaroon ng passport at dahil nag-submit na po ko ng birth certificates. Why am I complaining about this? And by the way, thankfully in 2017, tinanggal na nila ito. My point is, it took that time to manage it. Why am I saying this? If I renew my passport, and I have 8 passports so far in my life because I travel a lot, every time I renew, I have to submit a new birth certificate. And I had to question the DFA, Sir, hindi naman po nagbabago identity ko. Ako pa rin po si Jonathan Yabut. But because that happens, I have to pay 450 pesos together with my courier, another 150. And every time I renew, I have to spend money, time, and effort to do that. What is my point? As government officials, our job is to be sensitive to every little thing, that if we think it doesn't make sense, we change it. We improve it. Thankfully, in 2017, tinanggal na po yan. But I need to highlight that this is also cultural. The Philippines is one of those countries wherein, para maka-apply ng ID, pakitaan mo muna ako ng ID. At para makapasok ng isang gusali, kailangan ng 3 ID. We need to let go of this mindset that the more complicated the process is, the more secure we become. I disagree with that. I am a believer, the easier and simpler we make it for people, the more the process can be done without compromising security, of course. I'll give you one more example. Ito po, this for me is my number one wish. That's something a lot of people can also manage when it comes to queuing, right? Organizers, can I please move the slide to the next one? Yan. I'm sure you're all familiar with this kind of scene, right? And my issue is my wish. So I'm gonna get this slide. This happens in a lot of governments. May monoblock chair at may pila. At para makapila, uupo ako, and guess what's gonna happen kapag gumagalaw ang pila? Tatayo, at gagalaw, at uupo, at tatayo, at gagalaw. I totally understand it could be a budget issue, but here is my point. Every time you subject people to this, you spend another batch of monoblock chair. Do you know one of the top items procured in PhilJeps? It's monoblock chairs. Kasi po laging nasisira ang monoblock chair. So let me propose. You go to Lazada and Shopee, you buy a 5,000 peso counter. Yung nakikita nyo po sa mga BPI at sa BDO, you get a ticket that says, customer number 458. That eliminates the queuing. I will volunteer to set this up for you in the NBI or PSA offices. This is not an issue of money. It's an issue of willingness. And when willingness is absent, we deprive our people of the chance to get better services. Amen. Hindi po mahal ang technology. It's a matter of finding ways to install it. This, by the way, does not only happen in the government. It also happens in the private sector. I'll give you an example. I work in the airline industry. My biggest issue with many airlines, whether it's AirAsia, Cebu Pacific, or PAL, is ipapa-online check-in kanila only to find out pagdating mo sa airport, what happens? Pipila ka pa rin. And so there is ineffectivity of getting the job done. We can do better than this. Our job is to improve how we do it at the end of the day. And so when I talk about those mindsets, ladies and gentlemen, when I talk about those sense, the issue is about improving how we do things, right? Such as this clicker, which does not work, by the way. Gusto ko po siyang palitan, right? Our standards for success, ladies and gentlemen, are relative. Why am I obsessed about this? Kung feeling po natin tayo'y panalo na, heto number 1 na ako, think again. Maybe it's not the peak. And so you ask yourself again with another mindset, and that is the point we're in. Maybe that's not yet the peak because there is a better peak. Your clicker's not working. Pakipindot na lang po. Next one. Nope, you still have a long way to go. So may I request everyone in the room to remember this mantra. Kung sa tingin mo magaling ka na, maybe you're not. And that sometimes your ceiling could just be someone else's floor. Do we appreciate that? Ito po yung example na akala mo ang ganda-ganda mo, hindi ka kasi lumalabas ng bahay. And when you finally step out of the house, you realize, hindi ako maganda dahil maganda talaga ako. Kaya lang siguro ako maganda kasi napapaligiran ako ng mga aesthetically challenged friends. What's my point? Whether it's the city of Malabon or whatever country it is, if we want to become the best of the best, let's compare ourselves to global benchmark. Hindi po pwedeng pang barangay lang. Who plays basketball? In the room. Basketball? May liga po ba sa Malabon? Let's pretend ikaw ang MVP sa liga ng Malabon. Nanalo ka, 400 residents. Now that you're the MVP, you start thinking you're the best of the best. I will challenge that. you're the best, but only in this village. Because kung itapon kita sa NBA, sa FIBA, or sa UAAP, maybe you're a nobody. To become the best of the best is to benchmark yourself with the best standards. So please remember, sometimes your ceiling could just be someone else's floor. Huwag niyo naman pong galawin ang slides ko. Okay? All good? Are we learning something so far? Yes? Lesson number 2. Ayan, pakigalaw na po yung slide. In governance, believe in the power of partnerships to adapt to changes. In a time when resources are limited, you have to lean on to others to stretch your capacity and capability. So can I ask you lang for 30 seconds po, since we're talking about public and private partnerships for this session, for 30 seconds, could you please approach your seatmate and discuss, has there been any project that you admire, that you've seen in your city or in other cities that work well when it comes to public and private partnerships? I'll give you 30 seconds to 1 minute. Please discuss them. Please start now. Let's do that. Okay? All good? So I want to give an example of partnership. Mag-start po muna ako ng mas maliit na kwento. Okay? So I want to share something about myself. So one of my ultimate ambitions in life is to have, one, a house for scholars, because I've been a scholar myself. I'll share this later on, but I grew up in the slums of Tondo. Ang aking pong address ay 1274A, Madrid Extension, Moriones, Tondo, Manila. So growing up, I have been living a life of being a scholar, from grade school to high school and also to university. I also love dogs. Can I get a raise of hand who here is into animals? Dogs? Yes? Okay? So dalawa po yung aking plan. I want to create a house for scholars. I also want to create a shelter for dogs. Here's my problem, which I realized over time. One, wala po akong pera para gumawa ng infrastructure at magpasweldo ng mga tao in the long run. Hindi ko kaya. Even if I have the ambitions, I can't. Number 2, I have zero expertise on how to run one. Hindi ko alam. May aso ako, pero hindi ko alam ang sanitation kapag 100 aso na yan. I also don't know how to secure permits. Probably managing employees is going to be a headache. And so the heart is willing, but the mind and the body is incapable of doing so. Number 3, naisip ko din, it will consume at least 2 to 3 years of my life to set this up. Eh meron din po akong negosyo. So sabi ko, anong pwede kong gawin? Gusto ko pa rin i-continue, pero wala akong resources. And so what happened one day is this. I live in Taguig, and there is this one dog that I kept on feeding. Ang pangalan po niya is Noel. Pinangalanan ko siyang Noel. Babae po siya. And then one day sabi ko, hindi to sustainable. Gusto ko siyang dalhin sa shelter. So kinuha ko siya, pinabakunahan, binigyan ng pagkain, nilagay sa hawla, nag-hire ng isang kotse, nag-drive kami all the way to Tarlac, at dinala siya sa isang foundation called Animal Kingdom Foundation. So this is an NGO in Capas, Tarlac, wherein they take care of animals who are about to get butchered. Kasi po sa northern part, Benguet, Pangasinan, Baguio, kinakatay po ang mga aso. At ginagawang pulutan. So I brought in there, and there was something that struck me. Sabi ko, teka lang Jonathan, kung ang objective mo lang ay tumulong at kumupkop ng mga aso, hindi mo kailangan ng gumawa ng sarili mong shelter. What you can do is to pool resources and support existing shelter. That meets the same objective. And so I realized, then I don't need to set up from scratch. I also thought the same thing. I want to create my own house of scholars. I can't. So what do I do today? We look for schools with scholars. So this is St. Joseph's Academy in Malinaw, Aklan. And today, nakapag-graduate na po kami ng 172 scholars. Wala po kaming sariling bahay, wala kaming sariling infrastructure. What we do is we collect donations and we give them to the school. We partner up with the school instead. What is my point? You don't need to do everything on your own. And I need to highlight this for local governments. Sometimes our tendency is to think, I will start from zero. But you don't need. Your goal is to partner up with existing items. So a few lessons I learned. One, ask your purpose. Kaya mo ba ito gustong gawin is because gusto mong ikaw ang bida or gusto mo talagang tulungan sila? Because if your reason is to find and help others, then it means it doesn't need to be about you. Number two, you don't need to build from scratch. Hindi mo pasan ang mundo. Believe that it can be easier and more cost-effective to tap experts. Kung sino po yung expert na, puntahan mo, humingi ka ng tulong. Hindi mo kailangan simulan from the very start and build what they've already built on. Do we appreciate that? I want to give some examples of global, world-class, public-private partnerships. One, and here's where this is no different in public governance. PPPs, or public-private partnerships, can be effective in the Philippines. One example, anyone who's been to Japan? My favorite country in the world is Japan. My favorite city in the world is Tokyo. In Japan, they have a partnership wherein local government partners up with selected 7-Eleven stores na kapag sa oras ng earthquake or typhoon, automatically the 7-Eleven stores become evacuation centers. So what happens? In times of disasters, libre ang tubig, libre ang wifi, pwedeng gamitin ang banyo, at pwedeng mag-donate or mag-claim ng relief goods. Why does this make sense for Japan? Because I want to highlight it may not be applicable to the Philippines, even if it's a good example. Of course, sa Japan, ang kanilang pong mga 7-Eleven, malalaki. Kaya po siya posible. Of course, sa Philippines, ang ating 7-Eleven, maliit. So, hindi ko ma-imagine lahat magsisiksikan. Gets ko naman. But my point is this. The Japanese government takes advantage of the 7-Eleven because if you have been to Japan, you will notice this. Convenience stores is life. Hindi sila mag-grocery, mas 7-Eleven sila. Mas madaming 7-Eleven, Family Mart, kesa sa supermarkets. In fact, if you go to Japan, you can buy a white polo shirt in 7-Eleven because the assumption is, papasok ka, kailangan mo ng pang-opisina, bibilhin mo siya sa 7-Eleven. All these things are part of it. Another example, in United States, in 2021, pharmacies with nationwide reach became free vaccination centers for COVID-19. Now, what happened in the Philippines? It was mostly health centers, hospitals, and clinics. In United States, they're understood, hindi natin kakayanin lahat yan on our own. So what did they do? They tap all the major pharmacies, dun kayo pumunta, at dun kayo magpa-bakuna. It's a win-win because for these pharmacies, they also gain on foot traffic. What is my point? I understand we all have our own health centers, but if you cannot do everything on your own, hindi nyo po kailangan pasanin ang mundo. The goal is to partner. The goal is to ask for support and also for help. One more. This is in Pakistan. Pakistan is one of those successful models wherein they invite private organizations to operate public schools. So hindi lahat nakasampay sa isang organization. So in their case, they invite people to bid, they operate an entire school. And in the past 6 years, they saw the following benefit. One, tumaas ang teacher hiring. Number two, tumaas ang student enrollment. And number three, mas mabilis ang paggawa ng classrooms. Why? In terms of the school, yung company, the goal is more enrollments. More enrollments can also mean more profit. But that means they're motivated to deliver results. Every 2 years, the school is reviewed for performance to see if they can renew whether the school is fit to operate and continue. What, again, is my point? You don't need to start from scratch. Aminin po natin na hindi natin strengths lahat. Sometimes we have to lean onto the experts to do it. And so we invite them to be part of it. You focus on your purpose and you become open-minded on how you meet an objective. It's not about you. I'll give one more example, and this is something I've been doing since 2017. So mahilig po ako mag-donate ng mga shampoo, sabon, sipilyo sa mga orphanage. Because one of the biggest expenses of orphanage is grooming and hygiene. So ang ginagawa ko nung umpisa, sabi ko sa mga kaibigan ko, pengi naman ng pera, kahit 5,000 or 10,000 pesos lang, donate kayo. And I noticed that this was hard. Hindi lahat ng kaibigan ko may money. Hindi lahat ng kaibigan ko gusto mag-donate. However, here's one thing I realized. Madami akong kaibigan na laging nagbabakasyon at nagta-travel for business. So sabi ko, kung hindi ko kayang kumuha ng pera, kukuha ako ng materyales. So since 2017, here's what we've been doing. We ask friends to always keep the hotel toiletries with you. Shampoo, di ba dami sa mga hotel? Shampoo, sabon, toothbrush. Kukunin po namin yan. Since 2017, every year, we get sacks worth 30 kilograms worth of soap, shampoo, and we donate them to different orphanage. If I can't start from scratch, we partner with other people. So I want to invite our participants in the room, have a mindset that you don't do everything from zero. It is about partnerships in the end. Do we appreciate that? Yep. Thank you. It's mentally and financially easier to donate what you have versus buying something to donate. Okay? Before I end, can I give away some prizes to our participants? Can I do a quick icebreaker? Okay lang po? Hindi lang po to bahay at lupa, unfortunately. Right? But we are in the business of education. So I want to give away some prizes to our participants. Ang prize ko po is that every month, at the University of the Philippines Fort BGC campus, we conduct workshops on leadership, public speaking, and business writing. I'm gonna ask a quick question. Pakitaas lang po ang kamay if you know the answer. And if you got it correct, we will give you 10 free tickets for all the workshops. The ticket is worth 1,799. Request ko lang po pag kayo ang manalo, huwag niyo pong ibenta sa Lazada ang tickets. Mawawalan po kami ng negosyo. Okay? If you also win, I'd like to invite you to please grab any book of your choice. Meron po kaming booth sa pinakalikod. Nandyan po ang aming mga best-selling books. Whoever wins, please grab any one title of your choice. Our books, by the way, is also available in National Bookstore, fully booked, and they're also available for purchase. The proceeds of our books go to our scholars and to our dog shelters as well. So kung ready na po, ready na? Yes. Here is my first question. Tell me, what is the mistake on the screen? Raise your hand. Ano po ang mali sa screen? Orange, okay. Ano pa po? Yes, sir, go ahead. Ano po meron sa the? Very good. Palakpak naman tayo for the winner. Congratulations. So the word the comes out twice. If you still don't believe me, I'll give you 30 seconds more to look at the screen. Para po appreciate. Now, I think there's a moral lesson here in life. And that is, if something is new, do not be misled and distracted by the colorful, glossy ones. Sometimes the problem is at the back. Sometimes the problem is the fundamental one. So, dalawang da. Okay? Next one. Next prize. Pakisagot naman po. Tell me, how many holes does this t-shirt have? And here's a clue. There are 2 potential correct answers. Yes, sir. Okay. 6 is not quite, sir. 8 is the correct answer. Congratulations po. So bakit po meron sa taas, 2 sa manggas niya, Isa sa baba, and then tagos, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Palakpak naman tayo for the winner. Congratulations po. Okay, babanat pa ako ng isa. 8 is a correct answer. But here's one more. There is another potential correct answer. And here's a clue. If you change your perspective, you change your reality. Can you make a guess what that is? If you change, I think it's an amazing moral lesson in life. If you change your perspective, you change reality. 8 is correct. May isa pang pong tamang sagot. Yes, sir. 4, not quite. I'll give you a clue. It's above 5. And if you give me the answer, panindigan ha, you have to explain why. 6, hindi po. Malapit na. 8, nasabi na po kanina. 7, yes sir. Bakit po 7? Congratulations sir. Salamat po. Palakpak naman tayo for the winner. What's the correct answer? 7. Bakit po 7? Posible pong sa likod, isa lang ang butas. Okay, ang daming di naniniwala. I will give you 25 more minutes to look at the screen. Right? 7. Okay? If you change your perspective, it changes your reality. Okay? Palakpak again po tayo for all the winners. Salamat po. Please approach us later at the back where you can claim your prize. I'm gonna invite you again. Our best-selling books are also available at the back. The proceeds of our books go to our 172 scholars from St. Joseph's Academy and also for our fur babies in Kapastarlak for Animal Kingdom Foundation. Magpapatalasas pa po ako. If you're into listening to podcasts, please catch us on Spotify. Our podcast is called From Grit to Great. We talk about anything under the sun about careers, leadership, success, and the like. I'm gonna end with this last part. Winners know how to constantly ignite themselves. They build what we call as growth mindset. Pakitaas po ang kamay if you agree that kahit nag-graduate ka pa ng valedictorian or summa cum laude, it gives you the advantage in life, but it does not guarantee that you will succeed in the business world. Amen? Yes. We all know this because success is more than being intelligent. So one of my favorite psychologists of all time, Dr. Angela Duckworth, experimented. Sabi niya, kung hindi patalinuhan sa libro, what makes people successful instead? And so she made experiments. Sabi niya, is it IQ? Sabi din niya, is it EQ? Do you agree that EQ can make you successful? Galit ka, alam mo kung bakit ka galit, at alam mo kung anong dapat gawin para mawala ang galit. Maybe that will make you successful. Third, she also said, maybe it's about good looks. Raise your hand if you agree that if you're good-looking in life, you have a higher chance to succeed. Pakitaas po kung nakaka-relate tayo. Or mahirap ba pag hindi nakaka-relate? Anyone? Do you agree that good looks? Yes, of course. I'll give you po an example. Maryland University in 2016, they conducted a study, 4,000 sales agents. People are likely to buy when they judge these 3 parts of the body that are pleasant to look at. Can you make a guess what those 3 parts are? Sa tingin nyo, saan tayo ginajudge ng ibang tao? Sa mukha. Anong part po ng mukha? Make a guess. 3 parts. Eyes are a good answer but not quite. Most Asians are afraid and intimidated to look at the eyes. Anyone? No? Wag po ang nose. Talo tayo dyan. Talong-talo na po tayo dyan. Anyone else? So number 1 is teeth. We are always judged with our teeth. I am not asking you to have the best pearly white smile. That's not my request. Request ko lang po na kapag ngingiti at tatawa tayo, walang malunggay na nakadikit dyan. At kapag may kinakausap po tayo sa gabi, hindi niya dapat mahuhulaan na ang iyong almusal ay longganisa. Notice this, Filipinos are so sensitive to smell. We take a bath 2 times a day. When we think that someone does not smell good, we get turned off easily. So teeth is 1. What's the second? Second is hair. What's the third one? And this is something a lot of people take for granted. I think I heard it. Skin, okay. Malapit na. What's the third one? Teeth, hair, not the eyes, fingernails. And now you start looking at your fingernails, right? Fingernails are not just about hygiene. It's about the ability to give attention to details. We do a lot of workshops for real estate brokers. Sabi namin, mag-ingat. Binabantayan ang iyong kuko ng mga kliyente. Sasabihin ng kliyente, bakit ako bibili sa'yo ng kondo? Eh, ang kuko mo ang dumi-dumi. It does not represent, right? It does not show presentability. I'll give you one more example. Ladies in the room, do you agree that a guy becomes more good-looking if he happens to be taller? Meron po ba dito na gustong mag-asawa na mas maliit pa sa kanya? I don't hear that, right? And this is what data tells us. Gentlemen happen to be more good-looking if they happen to be taller, which I think is unfair in life, but it is the reality of life. So we attribute someone taller to be commanding and authoritative. Looks, therefore, can affect your success. So here's the magic. She looked at fitness, she looked at wealth. Where Dr. Angela Duckworth started is this. She went to the National Spelling Bee of America. She went to New York Public Schools. She went to the West Point Military Academy predicting which students, which teachers, which cadets are going to be successful in life. She looked at whether it was IQ, EQ, good looks, fitness, and wealth. And the interesting results, it was none of these. In fact, in some studies, kapag masyado kang matalino, complacent ka din sa buhay. But there is one thing that stood out, and that is what she calls as grit. Grit is the combination of passion and perseverance for a long-term goal. It is the ability to believe that no matter how many times you fall, you pick yourself up and you start all over again. Para po siyang Nescafe commercial that says, ano sabi ng Nescafe commercial? Para kanino ka bumabangon tuwing umaga. And I'm a big believer of this. The people who get it done are the people who want it so bad that they will never give an excuse. If you're interested, this is her video. 6 minutes on YouTube. If you have time, please do watch it. She says that failure is not an opposite of success. Failure is a necessary condition for success to happen. I'm sharing the concept of grit because I'd like to believe that my Cinderella story in Apprentice Asia was a story of grit. If you saw me in the show, I was the youngest male contestant with the least amount of experience. Pagpunta ko sa Kuala Lumpur, sabi ko, I want to become the winner. But when I saw my competitors, nagbago ang ihip ng hangin. Sabi ko, shucks, ang gagaling nila. Okay, kahit hindi na ako manalo, basta ako yung hindi unang matatanggal. I became humbled. But I also realized that I want this so bad. I wanted to win because I wanted to show those Malaysians and Singaporeans that the Filipino is not just a country that sends out domestic helpers and construction workers. We can do also that together with other achievements. And so sabi ko, I want to win. I want to make a mark because the Filipino is truly world-class. Amen. We are. So I joined the show. And now here you're gonna ask me, John, madaling ikwento yan. Trabaho mo yan as a motivational speaker eh. Paano naman ako? How do I get motivated? Eh minsan pagising ko sa umaga, ayokong pumasok sa office. Especially kapag Lunes or Biyernes. Napansin nyo ba, bumababa ang immunity kapag Biyernes or Lunes? Napansin nyo ba? Napansin nyo ba we become mentally unwell kapag Friday or Monday? That's because motivation is down. But here's a clue. Here's a tip. For you to become motivated, and here is where I part some tip, you have to treat motivation like a financial investment. Meaning po, you diversify your assets. Question, if you have 100 million pesos, anong gagawin mo sa kanya? To sustain the money. What do you do with 100 million pesos? For our businessman in the room, if you have that amount of money, what's the logical thing to do? You diversify. Diversify meaning you put your assets in different baskets. You put some in savings, some in business, some in equities. Bakit po? Kapag may isang nawala, may isang nalugi, isang nakuha from you, you're not totally gone. Ano pong kinalaman yan sa motivation? I want to request everyone in the room to treat motivation the same way. Please spread your motivations into different baskets. And may I request this one thing, to never anchor your life to only one person or thing. Because the moment that person or thing goes away in your life, it's gonna be hard for you to bounce back. Amen. So ilagay niyo po ang motivation niyo sa iba't iba. May kaibigan, may business, may sports, may art, may travel. Pag yung isa dyan tinanggal sa'yo, okay pa rin ang buhay. Meron ka pa rin inspiration and motivation. Kaya po tayo nawawala ng motivation is because nilalagay natin lahat sa isang basket lang. Look at your friends. Look at the one on the left. Notice this. Kahit po sa mga kaibigan natin, iba-iba ang ating compartmentalization. May kaibigan na pang Samgyup. May kaibigan na pang Siargao. May kaibigan na pang poblasyon. May kaibigan na pang bahay. Bakit po? Hindi lahat ng kaibigan pwedeng kasama lagi. Hindi lahat ng kaibigan available lagi. In fact, yung iba mong kaibigan, hindi niya kilala ang iba mong kaibigan. You diversify. So that if one basket gets destroyed, you have other baskets to lean on to. For our local government officials and business partners, I want to remind you this, to never define your identity to only one thing. You must define yourself in many ways. Sure, you're a businessman, you're also a mother. You also make good adobo for breakfast. You also play sports. Your favorite TV show is this and that. So that you understand that you are a multifaceted person. Ito po ang aking inspiration when I joined Apprentice Asia. You also diversify. Same thing for our cities. Never rely on one source to survive and thrive. For local governments to do well, you have to partner up. The national government is just one thing, but you have your private companies, you have your NGOs, you have your online communities and creatives to manage. Huwag pong magdepende sa isang panggagalingan lang. This was my story in Apprentice Asia. When I wanted to join the show, I wanted multiple motivations. I grew up in the slums of Tondo. Ang aming pong bahay ay kasing laki po ng table na to. Almost. Ang aming pong bahay, ang bintana pagbukas, si Aling Ondek nagbebenta ng fishballs. Sa kabilang side, si Mang Pabling nagbebenta ng sopas. Yung sopas po niya yung kapag after 2 hours namumula kasi may tender juicy hotdog. And so I said to myself, I'm happy with this kind of life, but I think I can do better than this. And so my ambisyosa mother got me scholarships in grade school. That got me scholarships in high school. That got me scholarships in university up until to where I am today. And so I said to myself, I'm happy, but I think I can do better than this. This for me is the mantra that every Filipino should possess. Hindi po pwedeng-pwede na. Kaya pang galingan. Kaya pang taasan. I'm saying this because I'm so scared. If you look at the data last year, Vietnam has a higher GDP per capita than the Philippines today. When they were a nobody 10 years ago. The Philippines is lagging behind. But we cannot just rely on others. We have to manage it on our own. My other source of benefit is this. When I was 17 years old, I had a cyst on my right breast. I joined Apprentice Asia because I remembered that cyst. Naakala ko meron akong breast cancer. Sabi ng doktor, we have to do a biopsy. And when we were doing a biopsy, akala ko this was the end of it. But when I saw that the cyst was benign, I said to myself, I have a second lease in life. I will seize every opportunity because I know how it feels when it's taken against you. The only enemy of the ambitious is time. My third source of grit is this, as I end. I was brokenhearted when I joined Apprentice Asia. Sabi ko, paano ko makakalimot ng isang 2-year-old heartbreak? And here's a tip. Pag magka-heartbreak po kayo, may isang solusyon dyan. Sumali po kayo sa isang reality TV show. They will confiscate your phone. They will not give you access to the outside world. Pati passport mo i-confiscate nila. So for 60 days, I was laser focused only joining the show. Pagbalik ko sa Maynila, nakalimutan ko na lahat. And I said to myself, wow, good job. And I want that person who broke my heart to finally see me on TV to the tune of Adele singing, "We Could Have Had It All." And that you lost it. That was my Apprentice Asia story. And eventually, what I thought was the reason what I was able to win the show. To end, hindi po nabibili sa nearest sari-sari store ang growth mindset at ang grit. Kailangan nyo pong i-build ang growth mindset on your own. Growth mindset is this, that even if you're not the best in class, hindi ka magaling sa math at ayaw sa'yo ng math, you still keep on practicing those math drills because math is still important for you. That is growth mindset. Can I get a raise of hand? Sino po dito may nakatrabaho na kinasusuklaman mo at kinasusuklaman ka niya? Meron ba? Walang aamin? Walang aamin? Here's my belief in life. Kapag hindi mo gusto yung isang tao, there's one quick tip. Find one thing in common between the two of you. Because magically, when you find out, you have the favorite TV show, favorite musician, favorite food or favorite city, it changes the way you see the person. This is part of growth mindset. So in today's challenging times, are you building a growth mindset? I hope we are. Hindi po to nabibili kahit saan bilang gamot. Hindi po to naiinom. You build it over time. And so as I talk about growth mindset, remember Kodak kanina? They filed for bankruptcy. Fujifilm, last story, did not file for bankruptcy. You know why? Fujifilm decided that they have this chemical called astaxanthin. It's a compound that you find in the ocean. You harvest it from algae. Ginagamit nila to improve the quality of photos. So it's another layer, pampatagal ng quality. Hindi nagfi-fade ang litrato. Sabi nila, nako, mawalan tayo ng negosyo pag wala ng litrato. We have to evolve. We have to change. So you know what they did? They extracted that astaxanthin and they manipulated it and tested it on the human skin. And they said, maybe we can change our business from photography into skincare business. And so in 2010, they became so successful that one of their brands called Astalift became a very popular serum, ointment, lotion for aging skin. Ang kalaban po niya ay Olay at SK-II today. This today is a $4.7 billion business for Fujifilm. And I find this very inspiring. Photography business, naging skincare business. They partnered up, they found ways to do better. Di po nagtatapos dyan. 2010, they decided to become a pharmaceutical company. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Fujifilm has a pharma company. In fact, one of their antiviral, a vegan, the generic name is Favipiravir, in 2021 is an antiviral candidate by the World Health Organization for no other than what disease? COVID-19. This was because of Fujifilm Pharmaceuticals. Photography, skincare, pharma. And you can see how the evolution is so inspiring for them to see. This is the power of partnerships. It's also the power of being to becoming. My last slide, I want to share this quote from one of my favorite tennis players of all time, Billie Jean King. At ang sabi po niya, pressure is privilege. Can I get a shout out? Could you please say that out loud for me? Pressure is privilege. One more time with more energy, please. Pressure is privilege. I need to highlight this. Public service is a privilege. There is nothing as happy, exciting, and fulfilling as knowing na ang bawat galaw mo has an effect on someone's life. Whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's a tissue paper you procure, that affects everyone's lives. And that pressure is a piece of privilege. And with that, maraming salamat po for the energy. I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best of luck. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan Yabut.